shouting on social media. I will not shout on social media. Have you seen me broadcasting for a long time? My broadcast is what I am doing now. On this tour, I use the opportunity to speak to Biafrans like you, and that is the broadcast I'm having now. The time for broadcasting is over. It is the time to put everything we have learned and researched for many years into action, into work. And whenever the time for this tour, I will use the opportunity to broadcast to the Biafra people. That's what I'm doing. And when our social media app comes out, maybe there could be a change. So I want to assure you people today, Biafra, all over the world, that the defense of Biafra is a no-go area. We will fight and fight until the Biafra is restored. And nobody is going to die. I am telling you the fact. Our aim and objective is to make sure in this fight, no Biafra dies. But like Onyendu used to say, they will kill us, we will kill them. At the end of the day, Biafra will come. I want to thank those of you who have supported this movement up to this point. But remember, we have entered the liberation phase where everything will be very difficult. By the special grace of God, it will not be difficult for the Biafra people. The dragon flag has been raised since 2021. And the dragon flag is not going down. We have raised the Biafra Liberation Army flag. We have also raised the Biafra Resistance Fighters flag. We have raised the Biafra Navy flag. We have raised the defense, the BDF, the Biafra Defense Force flag. That flag, those flags will never go down until the declaration of Biafra, and Biafra will be defended. For those who are saying that it is not possible, that we are just deceiving people, thank you very much. We will deceive people, but remember, when the time comes, and if you are a Biafra and saying it, you have something waiting for you. The Biafra law and policy will wait for you at the right time. And then you will shout, had I known. Those who are the people are shouting, Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa is killing soldiers in Nigeria. Why are you going to support him? These are the same people who were pushing people to go and die in Aba. And they went and actually died. We have the recent one. And I want to ask you, have there been any consequences from their side? The answer is no. But you know, we are not going to overlook those things based on the fact that they are not supporting what we are doing. Every Biafran is recognized by Biafra government. Government is a government. We are not organization. We are not IPOB that you say you don't register. You are not a registered member. No, that is the difference. So when those people were killed in Aba, we made sure that the Nigeria government that killed them pay for it. And today, believe me, they have paid more than that expected. So the government of Biafra is living up to its responsibility. And we have also made sure that those of our people who think that the government is just a shambolic one, in their various communities, there has been peace and tranquility, while other people in Nigeria are facing extinction, including displacement, going to IDP camp, killing them, abducting school children, killing women and all that. They are all happening all over Nigeria. It is only in Biafra territory that that is not happening. And I'm telling you, any day they try and abduct anybody in mass in Biafra land, believe me, I will not say what we're going to do, but we know where to hold them. The time has come that you must be speaking very bold. Do not be scared of your enemy. The invasion of Biafra land must stop. The terrorist checkpoint in Biafra land must be disbanded. Let me tell you, it is something that is going to take time. We are not going to say, we are not saying that it must end in one day or in 1 week. It is something that is going to take time. We are fighting a terrorist government that has billions of dollars. And so far, so good. Systematically, as you can see, we are defeating them. And the defeat will continue. So, my fellow Biafran, the 2nd of December declaration of the restoration of independent state of Biafra is very sacrosanct. We maintain it is very, very sacrosanct. The ongoing self-referendum is very important, that you stick and make sure that your people in your villages, in your town, participate in the voting. We need as many number of votes as possible in order to legitimize or to, to validate the actions of the government. We must get a reasonable number of votes, and we'll have time. Those states that are yet to receive their tablet, especially the electoral officials, you are going to receive your tablet very, very soon. So, but for now, it is very imperative that the media team of the Biafra Republic government in exile and every lovers of Biafra government in exile and those who are individually broadcasting on their own must channel their energy to the voting for self-referendum. Very, very important. We need to get as many votes as possible before October this year. The first phase of this voting is going to end next month, which is May. After that, we'll go to the second voting, and then we'll go to the third voting, to the third phase. So it is very, very important. This is what is going to define a lot of things that will happen this year. For those who do not understand how the Biafra independence and liberation is going to happen, of course, I'll always explain this. On the 2nd of December, 2024, when we have gathered enough vote and see that Biafra people have given their consent to the government, we will declare the restoration of independent state of Biafra. And we are going to intensify the defense of our land. We are also going to intensify the delegitimization of the Nigeria state within Biafra. In addition to that, we will intensify our diplomatic fight to see the recognition of Biafra. Like you hear our Director General of Foreign Affairs Ministry talked about Belgium. It is the same everywhere. Biafra is the only country that actually have enjoyed recognition. No other country has been recognized during the declaration of independence. It is only Biafra that we recognize. And the people do not understand the importance of these recognitions. The past leaders of the Biafra movement have done very well, but nobody has been able to break the chains to benefit what this recognition has to offer. The Biafra government is doing everything to make sure that the recognition of Biafra is restored. We are also filing application in the next 10 days. We are filing application to many authorities that you are going to hear from the media announcement. This application has to do with the recognition of Biafra. And also, we will make sure that the international stage, Biafra become a topic. Biafra is not going to be a topic by carrying flag and running around in the street. Biafra can never be a topic by coming on social media and shouting Simon Ekpa is a criminal. Biafra can never be a topic by calling Ike Kweremadu Onyoshi. Biafra can never be a topic by claiming that or shouting that Tinubu is a drug pusher. No, we have done all those. Everybody knows Tinubu is a drug pusher. Everybody knows Tinubu is a criminal. But that is not the reason to fight for Biafra. The reason to fight for Biafra has to do with the fight to preserve yourself, the fight to preserve your life, the fight to make sure that your culture, your way of life is preserved, and of course, the people as Biafra nation as a large. The fight to live, the fight to life, that is the reason for Biafra. The reason for Biafra is not because Nigeria is corrupt. No. The reason for Biafra is because Nigeria is not a country. The reason for fighting for Biafra is because when Nigeria was created, the people of Biafra did not consent to Nigeria. The reason for fighting for Biafra is because the original plan of Nigeria has changed. without you knowing it. The reason for Biafra exit today is because while Nigeria was recognized as a secular state, today it is no longer a secular state. It has changed from the backyard to Islamic State. That is the reason, without your consent. The reason for Nigeria to break away, to break into how many pieces but Biafra own is that we are only interested in our own nation and our own people. And let me tell you the fact. The old Eastern Nigeria that fought Biafra war remain Biafra people. Those who say they are not Biafra, the referendum is going on. You may decide not to, you may decide to say no to the referendum. And when the result comes, we are going to check you. But for now, Biafra remain 40 United States of Biafra. And the old Eastern region is the Biafra. And those who would tell you that Igbo 5 state should go, you know, these are the issues that I really don't want to talk about because it does not make sense. Igbo does not have 5 states. If you talk about Igbo, there are Igbo in Benue State, there are Igbos in Kogi State, and so if they are telling you Igbos, what is going to happen to the Igbo in Benue State? What is going to happen to the Igbos in River State? And let me tell you, these are just, when we talk about Igbo, we talk about those speaking Igbo. There are Igbos that doesn't speak Igbo. These are the ones you find in Ijo, Efik, Urobo. These are Igbos that doesn't speak Igbo language. What do you do to them? Anyway, my people in Belgium, you have a very important role to play in this struggle or not in the liberation of Biafra. Our achievement speak for itself. I will not sit here and start listening the achievement of the Biafra government in exile. Our own is that we've made sure that the legality of the government in exile has been proven beyond every reasonable doubt in accordance with international law. Our own job now is to continue to push for the recognition of this government, including the de facto government in the homeland. The structure of the government has met the 1933 Montevideo Convention of a state. And now that this particular formation of the government and structure has been achieved, we now focus on the delegitimization of Nigeria. Cover Nigeria Igwe as much as possible. That is all. You have to prove to the international community how serious you are. And of course, the next is to the UN. We will hit them very hard with evidence. So for peace to return to the entire West Africa, Biafra must be free. The continual subjugation of Biafra, the continual forceful union in Nigeria will never restore peace in the West Africa. And this particular peace will go beyond West Africa up to the entire Africa and Sahel. Because the exit of Biafra will also end the upsurge of terrorists within the Sahel region. The interests that the terrorists have, that is the reason they are invading Nigeria today, many of the majority percent of this interest lies in the Biafra soil. And so the exit of Biafra will end the entire terrorist plan in Africa. And everybody must understand this. So when we fight for our freedom, we are not just fighting for the freedom of Biafra alone. We are fighting for the mankind. We are fighting for the preservation of the human life within the Sahel region. So any nation, any government that is very responsible must support Biafra. But like everybody know, we are not bothered whether a government recognizes Biafra government or not. We know that we must continue to do that which is right according to international law until they are forced to recognize Biafra. Because the time is coming when you can't hide away from what we are doing. The time is coming when this government, who have refused to comment on the activities and the status of Biafra, will be forced to comment. And though the time is coming when the United Nations, who have remained mute and don't, the spirit of I don't care, will be forced to comment on Biafra. And that will determine, that comment will come as a result of our determination, our resilience, and what we have to do to delegitimize Nigeria state within Biafra land. And that's where we are going today. The economic sanction strangulation continues. So Belgian people, I want you to understand that for us to, go deeper into the affair of the Biafra Republic government in exile is something that takes a lot of time. We are now going to start the awareness like never before, making sure that our people will listen to the voice of Biafra radio from the satellite, and our people will listen to the voice of Biafra television, satellite TV in Biafra land, and that is already happening. We are live on satellite on TV, live on satellite on radio, and we are still spreading. Now we have ordered that the entire coastal state, the state from the coastal region, will have, first of all, we'll have this radio, the FM 97.5 FM from the satellite spread across the state before we talk of the hinterland. Because in the hinterland, the entire Biafrans are aware of what is going on. So our satellite is focused on the coastal side. And from this week, we are into one of the hinterland state will test run the satellite radio from the Biafra Republic government in exile and the Biafra de facto government. So please, if you are one of those who are an officer for the voting for the referendum, please, you have to beef up your activities. We need as many votes as possible before October. This is very, very important. We need as many votes as possible. So I want to thank you for supporting this government up to this point, and our activities in defending Biafra land will continue. That is not going back. From here, I thank you very much. Airborne to the Biafra Republic, airborne to the Biafra Liberation Army, airborne to the Biafra Defense Forces. Thank you all. Your flag and the arms will continue to go against the enemy, which is the Nigeria terrorist state, and will protect our women and our children, and nobody will intimidate us to drop our arms for self-defense. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my Prime Minister. We thank you. We thank you. We appreciate you for the great statement you've made, the great submission that you have told the people of Biafra and to the world. Today, I cannot even add to what our Prime Minister has said. I am being overwhelmed in the spirit. I am being consumed by the love and affection that I have for my Prime Minister. We are saying to the people of Biafra, your freedom is coming. If it is good for the people of India, if it is good for the people of Bangladesh, if it is good for the people of Pakistan to dissolve the so-called contraption that Britain created, that they called a nation, that they called one nation, if it was good for the people of those countries to disintegrate because they knew they are not one people, they knew there is a poison, a problem in their diversity. If the people of Pakistan, India, Bangladesh were wise enough to disintegrate peacefully from the contraption that Britain created in the sake of making money, in the sake of business, in the sake of creating an international enterprise, Britain once made all those countries one. But when Britain left, the people, they knew there was a difference in their behavior. They knew they were not the same people, and they chose to disintegrate along boundary lines. Even till this day, despite India becoming a sovereign nation, Pakistan and Bangladesh having their own independence, there is still turmoil, there is still blackmail, there is still hatred, there is still different kind of tribalism going on along the boundaries and all that. But because you are an independent nation, they can hate or love you. It will not affect you because they cannot influence your policy. As long as you are an independent India, Pakistan or Bangladesh can hate you as much as they want. They might despise your success. They might hate the way you roll, they might hate your people. As long as you are an independent country, you are free to live your life because your policies are not influenced by external stakeholders. That is what we need for Biafra. Because as you can see in that contraption created called Nigeria, you can see the tribalism, you can see the hatred, you can see the nepotism. Every tribe against each other. It is more like a dog-eat-dog world. Killer be killed. A kamikaze. An eye for an eye. The hatred is too much. No love lost among the tribes. And unfortunately, the Biafran war, since the so-called Biafran war, since then, the hatred for my people from all angles, from all tribes, has been something that is hard to even write home about. The reason why we are going through that hell in that contraption called Nigeria is because Britain, when they left, when they made us one nation, when they claimed we had our independence, the people of the zoo, they were not wise enough to break out, to go their separate ways the way the people of Pakistan, Bangladesh, and India did. Which is why till this day, my people has been going through all manners of subjugation. We have met the high-handedness of the zoo government. The so-called presence of the federal government cannot be felt in the land of Biafra. Despite we are the people that bring the resources, despite the oil that runs the economy, the engine of that zoo called Nigeria comes from the people of Biafra. Despite all this, my people are still hated. My people are still subjugated. There is still the hatred and tribalism met upon my people. And even in the face of a man doing a private business, the man they call the owner of Airpeace, he was running a private business. Something that is not in any way influencing the state of that zoo called Nigeria. A man running a private business because he chose the uniform of his cabin crew members. There was still hatred and tribalism met upon that man because of the Ishiago uniform. That tells you how deep rooted the hatred for my people is in that zoo called Nigeria. Today I'm going to lament. I cannot speak fluently today because in my heart, my spirit is overburdened. In my spirit, the God of Biafra is telling me to lament, to cry in the public. I have tried to keep my prayers, my tears, my lamentation in the private. But today, the God of Biafra is saying, you must cry in the public. You must say it in the public. Let the people know what I have told you in the private. In today's theme, I will name it according to my Prime Minister. The defense of Biafra land is a no-go area. For the fact we see what our people are going through, the subjugation, the hatred, the difference in the high-handedness, the difference in the way policies and actions by the zoo government is being met upon our people. In the case of Boko Haram, we are just hearing that somebody, a high-handed man, Unzume, whatever his name is, he has been released by the zoo government. But our own leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, can't even have an independent council, talk less of a fair hearing in their zoo court. A man who was kidnapped from Kenya without an extradition, he is about to be tried in that republic called Nigeria. And the media keep mute. My fellow Biafrans, today I am saying that the defense of Biafra land is a no-go area. It is something that we must do. It is a noble cause. It is something we must do for the land, which is why I'm saying we must support our Prime Minister, his cabinet, and those running the affairs of Biafra. We cannot continue this way. You see the high-handedness being met on up by our people. When you look at the case of Okwama, this is the 4th week. The 4th week, the people are still taking refuge in the bushes, in the thick forest. They are not able to go back home. They have been subjugated. They have been killed. They've not been allowed to bury their dead. They have not been allowed to attend to the sick because the military, they are in the community of Okwama, and they are saying the people, the whole community, are not allowed to return to the land, to their community and to their homes. My fellow Biafrans, we say enough is enough. The days of trying to dialogue with the zoo is gone. As our Prime Minister has said, we shall remain focused. We shall keep our head and our face, our eyes towards the rising sun. We shall keep our mind, our support to the government of Biafra. We shall make sure we keep on supporting the good work of our Prime Minister. This is the only way we can actualize our freedom. Because it is clear that the whole world, they have kept mute. The UN, the United Nations, and the rest of them, they have kept mute. They have chosen to keep a blind eyes when they see the atrocities happening in that contraption called Nigeria. They see the killing, the pillaging of our people since 1967 till day and counting. Yet the people and the so-called international organizations, they have refused to step in. We are saying never again. For the fact we have lived in the Western world, we know the ways of the white man. We have lived among the white man. We have learned the technical know-hows. We have learned about what it takes to run a good government from the Western world. We know what it takes to respect the rule of law in the Western world. And we understand how those in public offices, those running the affairs of the government, we know how they should conduct themselves because we have scrutinized those we have lived with in the Western world. So I wonder, it beats my imagination that the Western world, where we Biafrans, most of us, abode, they keep a blind eyes when they see Nigeria slowly and gradually turning into an Islamic country. To the Western world, how will you feel if a man living in your country, in Britain, in Germany, France, goes on holiday to that zoo called Nigeria? He's caught, he's kidnapped, and he's forced to turn or change his religion, and he becomes radicalized and sent back to your country to cause havoc to your people and to your nation. This is the trajectory of the zoo. This is the ways that Nigeria will look like if nothing is done within the next 4 or 5 years. Which is why we, the Biafrans, we are saying we have nothing in common with that contraption. We are saying enough is enough. We have been enlightened in the Western world, and when we go back to our land, we shall enlighten our people. We shall liberate our people. We shall set our people free because Biafra must be free. And we know when Biafra is free, Africa in a whole will be free. Today, Senegal is being celebrated that a young 44-year-old man has been made the president. A small Senegal is being celebrated. That's just a taste of what you will get when Biafra becomes a nation. The whole Africa will feel the impact of Biafra. Because we are saying we are in a contraption, we are in a dilemma, we are in a quagmire in that so-called Nigeria. How can you live with the people that hate you? How can you live with the people that hate your success? In the Western world, when you invent something new, you are being glorified by the whole world. Your nation recognize you, they love you, they appreciate you, and you are being held on a higher pedestal. But in that contraption called Nigeria, when a Biafran man is doing something extraordinary, he is being hated. There is red tapeism. When I say red tapeism, I mean there are red tapes, stumbling blocks placed on that man to make sure their so-called invention don't live off the ground. This is the problem we have in Biafra, and that is the problem caused by Nigeria. That even though we are in our land, the presence of the government of that zoo is influencing the killing, the pillaging in our land. You can feel the presence, the so-called physical policies around the areas known as Biafra. Despite the
All right, wonderful people, welcome back to this wonderful channel where we'll bring you back-to-back update and information as it is hot. In case you have not joined our social media handle, what are you waiting for? Kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you can be the first. So we'll collect our, let's go down to the news proper as it is hot. Before I go to bring you the information and matters wey be say it happen for the land of the indigenous people of Biafra, make I bring you matters of two soldiers for Dangote refinery, as it has been reported that these two soldiers has been detained who carried out an operation of taking armored cable from that Dangote refinery, and this is a very regrettable act and it paints a bad image of the Nigerian army. Let's go down to the full detail of the information. The Nigerian army on Wednesday said two soldiers accused of stealing armored cables of the Dangote refinery are currently in custody. Maybe before I continue, I want to talk on one or two things based on these soldiers and what could lead to that particular act of stealing armored cables. As it be, I know that nothing justifies the act of stealing, but I want to sincerely tell you that the salary of these soldiers are very poor. Sometimes it is not even enough to take care of their families. The same thing applies to teachers, the same thing applies to lecturers, the same thing applies to civil servants all over Nigeria. Of course, you know the cost of thing now. To get a common Pepsi or Coca-Cola, Mirinda, RC Coke, RC Fanta, name them, all those soft drink that you can, former other times that could be gotten for as low as, 100 naira and 150 is now 400 naira. So if you don't have up to 400 naira, it means that you will not be able to take a soft drink. And when you are getting two soft drink, you are already spending close to 1,000 naira. And this is to show you how devaluated the Nigerian naira has become. Meanwhile, that's not going to be a justification to the act of theft that these two soldiers carried out. But to be plain with you, what the Nigerian government is giving to their civil servant is a peanut to compare to what these politicians are squandering. And it's high time that the government start looking into some of these things. I am telling you that there will be more acts that will be carried out. Now, I want you to look at it from the point of another point. These soldiers are now thieving armored cable to survive. Don't you think that these soldiers, who are also some of them who are also armed, could carry out other operations in order for them to survive? Because they say that our people say that the toad does not run in the afternoon in vain. Meanwhile, make I bring you the full detail of that information. They said the soldiers had entered the facility on Sunday in an Acura Jeep, but we are caught at the company's main gate with 897 armored cable that had been cut to size. Reacting in a statement on Wednesday, The Director, Army Public Relations, Major General Onyemawachukwu, described the incident as totally unacceptable and highly regrettable. He disclosed that the soldiers were in custody. The statement read, "The Nigerian Army is deeply concerned about the alleged involvement of 2 of its personnel in a reported case of theft at the Dangote refinery in Lagos. This act of criminality, which was prevented by the proactive intervention of vigilante troops and private security operatives on duty at the refinery, is totally unacceptable and highly regrettable. It does not, therefore, represent the ethics and values of the NA. The 2 suspects have been identified and are currently under custody." But I don't see as that matter they happen. I don't want to carry my head they put for that matter where we say a consign Dangote and the NIG army. But the thing be there be say say our people say that sometimes when 2 friends are joking, that's when they tell themselves the truth. To be frank with you, what civil servants are earning in Nigeria is peanut to compare to common politicians' wardrobe allowance, common politicians' food allowance. Now, it means that the civil servants in Nigeria are just working for the politicians. They are more or so slave to the politicians in Nigeria because these politicians earn their money in billions, in millions. Now, tell me what is their work? They have been working for years. If these politicians are actually working, why is Nigerian road still the same? Why are they still adding on the yearly budget of the nation? Why are they still adding things like road construction, pipe-borne water, hospital? These are the things we are still talking about in Nigeria. Meanwhile, these politicians are earning their salaries are in millions. And after they have left office, they still collect what is called pension. Meanwhile, the poor masses are languishing in their poverty. I think it is high time people start saying the truth. And let's call a spade a spade. And this will tell you also why a lot of people are now demanding for freedom. Now, it is not only the Biafrans that are demanding for freedom. The Yoruba nations are now agitating. They want to be free. Because of the marginalization, because of the intransparent life of the politicians. The politicians of Nigeria are not transparent to their citizens. Politicians earn, some of them are earning 20 million, 500 million, and they are still complaining. They want an increase. What are they using this money for? The citizens they believe they are taking care of are not in good condition. No good road, no pipe-borne water, no hospital facility, no electricity. No, what is it that these politicians are being paid for? That's even what I want to understand. Because every day we pay the politicians, we pay them for their money, we pay them for this food allowance, hospital allowance, this one allowance, car allowance. They rode the best car in this country. None of their car is Belgian car. They ride tier rubber. What millions? Why are the citizens still suffering? If these politicians are taking this kind of salary per month in this nation, this is to tell you that there is money in this nation. Now, what are this money being used for? Every year, they bring out a budget. The budget for the year. What are these budgets being used for? These are the questions we need to ask ourselves. Meanwhile, before I come back to that political matter where we say it concerns Nigeria politicians and how they have marginalized their citizens, I will also bring you the matter as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lead counsel, Ejimako, don't react to court demands where we say the demand from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Remember, sir, I bring to you, say Nnamdi Kanu has given his own demand, but as it is, court has brought their own demand too. As it be, Barrister Aloy Ejimako, the lead counsel to the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has reacted to conditions submitted to be met before he faces the treasonable felony charge preferred against him by the federal government. Ejimako said the demands were valid based on the position of the Constitution that the IPO builder cannot be subjected to trial unless a fair hearing is guaranteed. Kanu's lawyer said this while addressing the journalists on Wednesday after the proceeding at the Federal High Court in Abuja. Ejimakor said Kano's legal team has access to him in the custody of the Department of State Service, but the access is being monitored, which contravenes the Section 36 of the Constitution. Recall that Kano demanded the restoration of the bail that was earlier granted to him by the court. He maintained that his continued detention in the custody of the DSS has hampered his ability to effectively prepare his defense to all the allegations the federal government leveled against him. Kano contended that his bail was erroneously revoked by the court based on false and fraudulent misinterpretation of facts by the federal government. He insisted that he never violated any of his bail conditions prior to the time that security agents invaded his home. Kano urged the court to set aside the warrant of arrest that was subsequently issued against him over the false claim that he jumped bail and escaped from the custody. Reacting to these conditions, Ejimakor said, "We are able to avoid a situation that if it had happened in court today, it would have been a deviation from Section 36 of the Constitution, which guaranteed every Nigerian the right to a fair trial. The prosecution was forcing a situation in the court today that the trial should continue or proceed today. But our position was this, which comports with the law, that we have not had any opportunity. We have made this very clear. It is not about having access to our client. We do not have access to our client. Access is monitored, hampered, to the point that we are unable to discuss with him within that zone of confidentiality that is guaranteed between a lawyer and his client, and that enhances the defense we shall prepare to properly defend him against charges that carry the death penalty. So our position comports with the law, with Section 36 of the Constitution, that unless a fair hearing can be guaranteed, no Nigerian can be subjected to trial. You can check it out," he added. Justice Binkanyako has fixed May 20th to rule on that matter. That matter na the matter wey be say concerning Nnamdi Kanu. You know, say me, I no be lawyer. The only thing why I go fit interpret to you na wetin they call layman's understanding. But all those yara yara wuru wuru, all those yara yara wuru wuru, all those yara yara wuru, and everything that has happened is just to, in a layman's language, I will tell you that wetin Mazen and the Kano don talk be say, make them give am fair hearing, say na only through that fair hearing, and na im they go take know whether they go proceed that particular matter or not. As it be, make I one and the cotton here has also promised the Prime Minister of Israel that him, the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, will be releasing 15,000 foot soldiers for the Israeli to join the Israeli troops in the fighting of Iran, Hamas, and every other nation that have joined in the attack. Of course, you know that most of these countries who are supporting Hamas and who have decided that Hamas will leave are mostly Muslim-dominated countries, people like Iran and the rest of them. A lot of people, speculations has come online under Mazi Simon Ekpa's X handle, formerly known as Twitter. Some came in as mockery, as they have mocked Simon Ekpa's statement that he is going to release 15,000 troops of Biafra Liberation Army to the Israeli troops. And as it is, Simon Ekpa in return has said that while they were busy shouting LP, Labour Party, that he was busy training the Biafra Liberation Army soldiers for a time like this. I want you to go down to that comment section and drop your comment before we continue. What is your take on this particular matter? What is your take? What do you think? What do you think on what is currently going on? Do you think that the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, Mazi Simon Ekpa Wanjoko, has the capacity to release these 15,000 soldiers to Israel? Or do you also think that Israel will be needing these 15,000 foot soldiers? Of course, you know that history has it that the Igbos came from the lineage of Abraham. That is where you see the Obu God where they for Aguleri. You see Eri, where be the father of Ndibo, where the Igbo people started, and the rest of them. As it is, Ekpa, the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government, I believe that it is a tradition for you to borrow your soldiers to your brother. Of course, if you are familiar with the Stone Age and the Iron Age, when there was a lot of war in the world, you find that two head of state who are friendly usually exchange their soldiers for war, either for political gain or maybe for some financial gains. But the question, somebody sent me a question and said, Nyokopus, that we had what Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile is saying, Mazi Simon Ebao. Some people are saying, is he not afraid? Why is he not afraid of, talking about such things as, releasing soldiers to Israel? And a lot of people are saying, does he have the capacity? Someone even asked me whether our people will be, whether the Biafra Liberation Army will be happy to go on this kind of mission. There's a lot of questions that has been coming to me, and I say some of this question is not what I can answer by myself. On this broadcast, we will be looking at it one by one. First of all, go down to the comment section and drop your comment. Remember that our super chat is on. You can gift us from that particular super chat and to support the good work that we have been doing here on YouTube, because it's not easy. There is this woman, before I will continue waiting to happen for the Biafra land now. There is this woman that one day the son that lives in abroad came back and bought her a radio, and the woman is quite old. It's not that she's that old that she cannot walk around. She was still strong walking around, but to her, she has not seen a radio before, and this radio uses battery. So usually the son will come back, buy extra battery and the rest of them. So one day this radio was talking, and the woman look at this radio and say, mommy, don't you rest? And she got water and poured on the radio so that the radio will drink water. What am I saying in essence is that as I do this good work. Some of them are supposed to don't say in your propose. Give us your wire transfer, make una wire on some dollars for me. As it be, let's go back to waiting they happen for the Obodo as the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, Mazi Simon Ekpa Nwanjoko Ohamadike 2 of Ndibo Dogwana Manzuna Yawana Bwebwe Onatagare has promised the Israeli Prime Minister that he is going to release 15,000 foot soldiers to join the Israeli army in combating of Iran and Hamas. Hamas has released some weapons towards Israel to show Iran has released weapons towards Israel to show solidarity that they are in support of Hamas and the rest of them as they be. But the thing is that my point is waiting be their name. Iran that is supporting Hamas, I hope they will be able to combat Israel, because you know that countries like United Kingdom, America, and the rest of them are fully in support of Israel, and I am wondering how Iran, Hamas, and every other of their brother that have supported the Israeli, that have supported the Hamas will be able to cope in this particular time. And I know that this is going to be leading to a lot of sanction. There will be a lot of sanction as regards this particular matter, because it is not going to be easy for the people. As there be this information, don't they come to us that there will be a dollar. There will be a border reopening in order for Nigerian custom to socialize with Benin Republic counterparts. They want to open the border again, and I think that is a good move, because remember that those days you can go to Cotonou and buy your car very cheap, and you remember that car usually is cheaper in Cotonou than Nigeria because of the issue of stamp duty. But here in NIG, the stamp duty you are paying and the custom fees sometimes equals to even bigger than what you have bought by yourself. And somebody will be wondering, why is the cost of things very high in Nigeria? Why not bring down the stamp duty so that everybody will be able to purchase a car, or even at minimum have a little car? And a lot of people are of this speculation that the government, they don't have the interest of the poor masses at heart. As it be, American veteran soldiers of Igbo descent have accused Hope Uzodinma of masterminding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's continuous incarceration in the Department of the State Service Custody. They say that now Honorable Oseifian and Kete, that the hand of Hope Uzodinma is in what is happening to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That by now that Kanu should have been released from the DSS detention, but Hope Uzodinma are part of the people who are fighting that decision. And I am wondering if this is actually true. Why would a brother want his brother to remain in prison or gini kana zo? Because our people say that na MSC na ma emegini ebulugaba na obi ezigbote onye Igbo ka mbụ maka na asị na onye atụrụ inu kọwalị ya anya bụ ego eji nụ nne nọ na n'iyi nwe na-asịkwana ka ego eji megine ego eji nụ nne gị na n'iyi as dey be. As it be, another information drop from my table as information don dey enter say Cubana chief priest don land himself for EFCC custody for violation of the naira. All set, yeah. This time, the EFCC and every one of them, even the central bank, are taking this issue of naira serious. For me, I will advise them to focus on stabilizing this particular economy that have, fallen into dungeon, because the prices of things and the way things are going in Nigeria, my brother, very soon you go be say you carry food put for fire, say make you enter inside go bring maggi, your neighbor don't go carry am, and no be only say you go carry am, na him and the children go chop am, and when you catch am, him go dey beg you, and by that time you yourself still dey hungry. We pray that the nation will not reach that particular point, as the Chineke are waiting for the day of the declaration of their freedom, because no matter how long the children of Israel stays in the land of Egypt, the one thing that is promising is that one day freedom will become the order of the day. And that's the prayer we have been praying, that one day Chineke will exit from the land where they have been kept captive for a long time, and it will be the book of the second Exodus. As it be now, here I go to wind out the curtain, and if this is your first time where you dey carry body chook for this wonderful channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, and share, and also remember to on your notification. But before I drop, I see one information. I say you go like this one. They say Restaurant in Italy offers free bottle of wine to customers who hand in their phones. They say if you come for Italy handing your phones, they will give you a free bottle of wine. My brother, this kind of thing, they somehow. What if you dey for danger loss? What you go do? Where you say somebody carry your phone, they somewhere you they chill with one bottle of wine. Anything that have advantage or disadvantage. So if you dey look for free things, as it be for the people where we say children will want to take jam, so they say full list of items jam candidate must not take to exam venue. They say make you carry your phone enter, make you carry anything where we say it go implicate you. Meanwhile, make I stay wine and done here. Thank you for listening, Dioma. If to say time day, I for say make I on for you that song of Osita Dema or Sadebe. Dioma. You get always say People's Club, mama no. People's Club, mama. Amazon, but can double here. Nani hope. And I follow the make sure say Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will not come out for that DSS detention facility And then they ask question, they say, Hope, what do you gain when you want to make sure that your brother remains in that particular DSS station? And they're asking him to remember posterity, that let him not forget, let him not think that after his governorship that other people will, what is it called, will not remember the history and what he has done. Well, meanwhile, let's go down to the full details of the information as today. What? As Mazi Simon Ekpa don't drop another bombshell. Ekpa don't drop another bombshell. Ekpa don't drop another bombshell as it be. They say, why you were on social media shouting LP, LP? We are busy training soldiers, Simon Ekpa to Nigerians. Biafra agitator Simon Ekpa has reacted to the criticism of Nigerians who mocked him for saying he would support Israel with 15,000 troops in their war against Iran. On Sunday, April 14, 2024, Iran launched a barrage of missiles and drones towards Israel in a bid to show his support to the country. Simon Ekpa pledged 15,000 Biafra liberation troops to Israel. Several Nigerians laughed at him, calling his outstretch a joke. Others urged him to return home and help his people in the southeast if he was serious with his offer to help Israel. In his response, the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile said why they were on social media shouting LP, LP, Labour Party during the 2023 general election, he was training soldiers. He wrote on his head page, formerly Twitter, while you were on social media shouting LP, LP, we were busy training soldiers for the defense of Biafra. Nigeria terrorists at HQ Nigerian Army tried in Imo State with 35 armored tanks, fighter jets, over 50 healers, and went to Lagwaja and Musa to verify the end result. They dance in the market, share flyers on the street of Biafra. They fall like chickens in Biafra land. They will not tell you a story, but they are quick to tell you about Okoma because it has nothing to do with Biafra. They will start to cry again very soon. Ekpa further said that the Biafra government will be part of the rescue mission to safeguard Israel in Nigeria if they come under Islamic attack in Abuja. They know our capabilities. That's why all of them are mad about the Biafra government proposal at Israel to support them with 15,000 ground forces when the time comes. The Biafra government will be part of the rescue mission to safeguard Israel in Nigeria if they come under Islamic State attack in Abuja. We will stand on this proposal till the end of time. They are worried because they know we are capable, we have the manpower. I want to see as it happen for that particular matter where we say they saw